Introduce yourself and the lower division course you teach.
I'm Dr. Doris Hall, and I teach Intro to Criminal Justice.
What are some things students would learn from taking your course?
We would learn all about the criminal justice system, the three main parts, which is law enforcement, courts, and corrections, and how they all work together, or in a lot of cases don't work together. You would also learn a bit about constitutional law and constitutional rights for the accused of crimes, how the U.S. incarcerates more humans than almost any nation in the world per capita, and why that is, and what the impact of that is on our population.
What would you say is your favorite assignment from the course?
I have some goofy movies from the 1970s that I love to show and just clips from. And then the students, there's one and it's called Play Misty for Me. And it's about a female stalker, and stalking is my area of expertise, so I love that film. And I show a clip from it, and the students have to get in groups and figure out every crime that the stalker committed in about a 7-minute segment. And it's just really interesting to see what they come up with. And same idea as I show a clip from the movie Dirty Harry, and they have to figure out all the constitutional amendments that he breaks.
What interests you the most about your field?
The whole system is so interesting, but my favorite area is the impact of violence on victims and on society.
What advice can you offer to undergraduates before taking your course?
I would say try to watch the news and pay attention to how crimes are framed and the different things that are out there. And other things I would kind of start paying more attention to is use of force by police. There's a lot of news stories and really good articles and websites that you can kind of be checking out on that, and how all of the recent issues are, kind of changing the trend even within law enforcement.
Introduce yourself and the lower division course.
Okay, my name is Rhonda Dugan. I'm an associate professor in sociology here at CSUB, and the lower division course that I'm teaching this semester is Introduction to Sociology, which is Soc 1008.
What are some things students would learn from taking your course?
That students will be able to understand what they see happen in society. What I find is that when students take my course, they know how to label something they've seen or they've always seen, but now can put a name to it. So I think a lot of students have experiences, but they don't quite know what to call it or why it's happening. So I hope by the end of my course that students at least have an understanding of why things are. And I always tell my students they're already sociologists, but they just don't know it yet because they have those types of experiences to write in what's wrong in society, rules of society. And then we talk about inequality like race, gender, sexuality, social class. So they get a little bit of everything in that intro class. Yeah.
What is your favorite assignment from the course?
Students had to basically analyze presenting themselves in a face-to-face interaction and then analyze themselves in a non-face-to-face interaction to see if they do any differences in how they present themselves. So if you're hanging out with friends at the marketplace, what does that look like versus interacting with people on social media like Instagram, or are you the same self in person and in the virtual world? Yeah.
What interests you the most about your field?
How widely applicable sociology is, in the sense that, and this might sound kind of cliche, but we're all human, right? And we all have to interact and talk with people, and even at a bare minimum, I think sociology can help students of any major. They leave the class kind of thinking like, this really will help in my field, regardless of what it is. I have people who are in STEM majors who are interested in the social dynamic. So I think you still have to learn how to work with people. Regardless of your career, you got to know how to interact with your coworkers, even at the most minimal level, right?
What advice can you offer to undergraduates before taking your course?
Pay attention to what's going on, like in the larger community, even somewhere where you don't live, or even nationally or globally. I always say to students, at least get 30 minutes of news from somewhere, like, whether it's listening to NPR or you're just watching NBC Nightly News or whatever, to kind of stay informed and kind of be in the know. You don't have to know everything that's going on in the world, but at least have some sense of, what's being talked about.
Introduce yourself.
My name is David Porter. I took microeconomics, Econ 2018 with Dr. John Deal.
So what are some things you've learned from microeconomics?
Even though economic models don't apply one-to-one to reality anymore, we've learned that, you can still apply a lot of that knowledge to how humans interact with businesses.
And what can you apply from that course?
I think the best applications is that consumer to business relationship that gets kind of stressed in microecon. You learn to save your money, how to buy things efficiently, opportunity costs, etc., etc.
What's your favorite assignment from microeconomics?
We had to write about the economic and ethical considerations for selling your own organs that you don't necessarily need that another person does need.
How do you structure your courses?
I tend to structure my courses as blocks. So if I can get a block from say 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then everything else is free, that's probably optimal. After that, I try and just make sure they're hitting graduation requirements. Nothing else really matters at that point.
Introduce yourself and the course you've taken.
Hello, my name is Eric Juarez, and I took the course 2018 Microeconomics with Professor Tony Robertson.
What are some things you've learned from taking microeconomics?
Taking this course, I learned about the stock market, how it works, and why it's important, about the sunk cost fallacy, which pretty much is, let's say you have a 15-year-old car, and it breaks down every 5 minutes. You keep pouring money into it. So you already invested a lot of money into it, so you don't want to let it go. So with all the money, you could have bought a brand new car.
What can be applied from taking microeconomics?
The cost-benefit analysis. For example, let's say you get $1,000. You can keep the money or you can invest it in the stock market. But by investing in the stock market, you could either make more money or lose it all. So you have to weigh the pros and cons of investing that money.
What is your favorite assignment from microeconomics?
So in microeconomics, we played the stock market game in which we pretended to be the stock market. We traded with our classmates. And then one thing that I learned from it is that people can be really greedy.
How do you structure your courses?
The way I structure my courses is by looking at my work schedule, looking at the courses I need, and also looking at the website Rate My Professor.